Hello from Zephyr Cove,
South Lake Tahoe, Nevada. That's where we are.
We drove up yesterday just to get a few things ready, and today It is gorgeous. Blue skies, birds are singing, the chimes are going. Can you hear them?
Oh, I thought those were my bells.
So here we are, Lake Tahoe in the background. We've got Edwina, Jill, Bob in the background. There's Tana and Mary, and we're heading to Emerald Bay.
Yeah.
Yay!
This is Inspiration Point, right by Emerald Bay in Lake Tahoe. Can you see how beautiful the water is?
Do you know why they call it Emerald Bay?
Why, Jill?
Because there's emeralds in the water if you go diving really, 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 really deep.
You know, there are tourists here that are going to believe that shit.
Being on the lake.
I love it.
How much? 6 inches?
Yeah,
That's 6 inches.
About 6 inches.
About 6 inches.
From the ground.
Edwina?
Yes.
What was your favorite wine so far?
My favorite wine was Pinot Grigio.
Pinot Grigio. Okay.
What's your favorite?
The Zinfandel, the one that you all filled my glass with because you didn't like it. I have good taste.
You're welcome.
Tana, your favorite thing about Tahoe so far?
Which one was it or favorite?
Okay, we are on our last line.
Wine tasting on the lake. What do you think so far, Bob?
Well, so far I can't remember any of the wines, and I don't remember getting on this boat.
Well, we got to taste, I think, 8 different wines. Started with the Brut champagne and then some white wines, which not my favorite, but I enjoyed tasting them. And then we had a couple of reds, and we're going for a bottle of red shared between the 5 of us on the way back.
With brownies. Nothing like red wine and brownies.
Not special brownies, just brownies.
No, just brownies.
So yeah, you got to try this if you come to Lake Tahoe. It's a ton of fun.
It's really great fun.
Come on, Mary. Show us what you got.
I was looking earlier at jumping and swinging.
There we go. There we go. Keep going. Are you happy there?
Yes. Boudoir photos. Thank you.
That's right up there with pole dancing. Oh, there we go. She made it. people brave enough to go on the clear kayaks. There are the kayaks, and bye-bye, Tana. How you doing, Bob? I got video going, so that's it?
Yeah, this is all that I got.
You turn around and go back.
So, Bob,
This is
how's
not
your...
as easy as it looks.
It's pretty easy. You having a good time?
Yes, it's very good. My ass hurts.
Why does your ass hurt?
I don't know. Is it
Maybe
killing?
you need to sit up a little bit like this so you give a little...
Oh. Have you eaten your cookie yet?
No, I've not eaten my cookie.
Oh.
So, Tana, what do you think of clear kayaking?
Oh, awful. Totally. This is the best thing ever.
Isn't this just awesome? The only thing that would make it better if this wasn't water but a champagne bucket.
Oh, no. I was thinking, like, next time I might be a little hot.
That's a good idea. It's a
Just
good
Good
idea.
meditation morning.
Denton, what do you think of your kayak tour? Are you having fun? Edwina,
Yes.
what do you think of your kayak tour?
This is awesome. Beautiful way to be out here, right? Look at it.
Once in a lifetime experience.
Yes. Thank you, Jill, for doing this for us.
Isn't this amazing? So, Bob, what are you doing?
Well, I'm getting my ass out of the water, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
This was the unsinkable boat.
if anybody can break the rules, it's Bob Ray.
It still didn't sink, yeah.
Yeah, it didn't sink.
We're talking technicalities here.
We had a beautiful, clear kayaking trip. On the way back, you decided to change the plans. What happened?
Well, actually, in the initial spiel, when they were telling us how to do the paddles and stuff like that, as soon as our guide, who's over here,
Showing.
Eric.
There's Eric.
it's not Jeff.
AKA
It's not Jeff.
So, in any case, as soon as he said the boat had never been sunk,
The challenge was on.
the challenge was on. So
And?
I came down here from Ty Cobb's house, and the ghost of Ty Cobb said, "Hey, shithead, get out of my property." I knew that the Georgia peach was not a peach. And so I leaned over to flip him off, and what happened? The boat capsized. So
You fell out of the boat.
I did fall out of the boat. I hope my phone is waterproof.
If
and-
not, you've been saying you want a new phone. What a
Should've
perfect
taken- should've taken
opportunity.
that dry bag.
I knew it.
Well, great story, great memory.
It's a great story.
Let's do it again without the tipping over part.
Yes, I think that would be good. Although he may not want me back.
We are the Riolo sisters. I'm Loretta.
I'm Pam.
I'm Pat.
I'm Shelley.
Why did I say Pat?
Vanita Onetta Denton is our mother.
Yeah.
So
Was our mother.
is our mother forever.
Forever and ever,
Yeah,
yes.
forever. Yeah.
And I have a story about, a funny story about making meatballs.
Oh.
We always made meatballs. Mom gave us a big bowl of meat. We'd roll up the meatballs. So we're rolling up the meatballs and tossing them up, tossing them higher, higher. Mom's in the kitchen working. She doesn't see any of this, of course. Finally, I threw it up really high, stuck on the ceiling. Mom walked in, standing right underneath this
And the
meatball.
meatballs dropping down,
And the meatballs
sagging
laughing.
down, and we're
What are you laughing at, you said,
And we
right?
would be
We
in
were
trouble.
laughing so
Yeah.
hard,
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah,
so
tears ran down our legs.
yeah, it was great. It was great. Yeah.
And after she moved, it fell down.
As soon as she turned around, the meatball
Yeah,
flopped on the
so-
ground.
Yeah, and it's great to see our cousins and our family, and I'm so grateful that we could be here today.
Yes, we
Yeah,
are.
and it's really cool for me because we have the blue Denton eyes, and everybody else, the
We
Sicilian
have the
side,
Riolo eyes.
are dark, but our whole life we had these blue eyes, and it was so different than the whole family on our Italian side. So it's really neat to come and kind of, get used to seeing those blue eyes come out because it's our mother had blue
The
eyes. So,
Dentons.
yeah, the Dentons.
Denton eyes.
Yeah, so yeah,
Right.
My boys got those.
yeah. So
Mine too.
grateful to be here. A good family.
Yes,
We
thank you,
love
Jill.
you all
Yes.
so much.
Bye, everybody. So good to see everybody.
Hi, I'm Carrie Deaton. I am the daughter of Ruth Denton Stenerson. She and my dad met when my mom came to California when she was 15 years old. She hitched a ride with Annie Lou when Annie Lou was coming to California. She got a job in a machine shop and second operation and met my dad, and they got married when Mom was 19. Anyway, I wanted to tell you about two of my favorite Dentons. As a little girl, I loved my Uncle George. I thought he was the most handsome man on the face of the earth. And I still remember, bless him, when he was in the service, he sent me a letter, and it started out, "Dear Carrie Lynn, how's my best girl today?" And I still have that letter somewhere, I know. He was just always happy to see me. The second person that had a great influence on my life is my Aunt Norma. I didn't meet her until I was in my 30s, mid-30s at least, and met her when she and my mom drove up in my brother's 1955 pickup without a floorboard with a sectional in the back, hanging out on all sides. They were just laughing and having such a good time. Anyway, that blossomed into one of the greatest relationships of my life. Aunt Norma was my best friend. She was always positive. She would call me every morning about between 6 and 6:15 as soon as she got into her office there at the apartment building that she managed. And I just loved her dearly. She was a great person, always positive, and never complained in spite of whatever hardships she had, and she had her share. And I still think of her every day and thank the Lord for her influence and her time that she shared with me.
My name is Edwina Wilson. My mother was Norma Jean Wilson. I'm Edwina Jean, and my daughter's Tana Jean, and I have a Laurel Jean, so we kind of kept that in the family. But thinking today about my earliest memories of my mom and my grandmother, they were very close. Grandma loved all of her kids, but sometimes you always felt that one of them might be more special than the other. You never could really tell that though. You kept thinking, well, maybe so, and then no. Grandma would do something else that would make you think, no, Teetle's her favorite. But anyway, favorite or not, she was a wonderful grandmother, truly loved by everybody, and my mom's pretty great too. But my mom had to leave me some because she was so young when she had me, and she had to provide for me and for herself. So she left me with grandmother, who already had Teetle, Tommy, Rex, and Robert. In fact, I think Rex had probably left just a little bit before that story. Backing up, I think Rex was already gone, but Tommy and Junior, or George, and Robert were still there, along with Teetle and me. So Grandma took care of us. And one night, my grandmother worked at a Busy Bee Cafe in Haskell, and she had the duties of closing the place down. And the show, the cinema, the only one in Haskell at the time, there were never, I don't know if there was ever two, but there's one there, went to the show across the street from the Busy Bee. And when I would get through the movies, which cost me a dime to get in, I would go back over to where my grandmother was working, and she was closing it up around 10 or whenever. And I was so tired. She said, come back here behind the kitchen. There's a small cot bed back there. And you just lay right down there, and I'll finish up the job that I have to do. Get the kitchen all cleaned up and get ready for tomorrow. So I did. I went back there and I went to sleep. I don't know how long I slept, but all of a sudden I have my grandmother's arms around me. She's waking me up. She's got tears in her eyes. Come to find out, I had been there for some hours, and my grandmother had forgotten about me and went out the door and locked the cafe all up, got home and remembered I wasn't there with her. So she had to come back, and her biggest worry, which I never knew of, because when she came in, she went right where I was and woke me up, and I never knew till she told me the story later. She just got so busy with things, she forgot. But anyway, she did come back, but the thing that always haunted her, always bothered her, I don't think she ever really fully got over it, was she was so afraid that I would be so fearful that when I woke up and saw the place black, I mean, there was no lights, no mirrors, I mean, no windows. It was pitch black. And her biggest fear was that I would have woken up and been scared. And she had a hard time forgiving herself for not remembering me and leaving me in an old cafe with all the lights off, a sound asleep on the bed, but it was fine. It all worked out for good, as everything always does. So that's my story.
I'm Tana Wilson. I'm a Denton because my grandma is Norma Jean. She had a lot of last names. It happens. My favorite story with the Dentons and with my grandma, maybe not with my grandma, but definitely with the Dentons, is going to California whenever I was probably anywhere from 10 to 12 years old. We went to San Francisco, Carmel. We drove down that famous highway down the coast. We ended up in LA, met Carrie and David and Kristen, and David took us to a Dodger game and to Disneyland. But I just remember, I also got my belly button pierced when I was in Carmel by a lady that had polio and walked with a cane. And then I immediately went into the ocean, and it was salt water, and that hurt. And my dad made me take it out as soon as I got home. But that was the trip of me and my mom and Nanny Cooper. And that was the only one that we took, the three of us. And then I got to hang out with Rex and Glow, and it was perfect.
Hi, my name is Jill Denton. I'm the daughter of Rex Denny Denton. And I'm going to tell a story today about my mom and my dad. You see, they met in Oakland, had a friend in common. They met at a diner, and that night when my dad went home, he called his mom and said, "Mom, I met the girl I'm going to marry." A couple years later, they were married. A couple more years after that, they had one child and then another. And my mom said to my dad, "I think you need a more secure job." Well, my dad always wanted to go to college, so my mom supported him in that venture, and she took on a full-time job as he went to school full-time and was a house husband. He cooked, he cleaned, he changed diapers, and I think he was a little bit ahead of his time. I mean, this was like 1960. Men didn't do this back then. But he did graduate with a bachelor's degree, and I think he was the only one of the 18 who actually go to college, so he was very proud about that. And when he graduated, my mom was actually given a degree as well. She got her PhD, putting hubby through. I always thought that was so cool. I had such a wonderful childhood. I was so blessed to be around two people who loved and adored one another. They were each other's best friend. They supported each other. They kissed each night before dinner. All of this I thought was just love. Little did I know until I got older what a rare and wonderful love I was witnessing, and still touches my heart to today. Love all my aunts, love all my uncles, love my mom and dad, and I love you too, cousins.
She made this. This is all silicone. It's about thinking of June. And this is one of the things that
One back here. That's all it was, Brian.
Stop it! Yep, she's a techno, right?
Oh, I got that all on video, ladies.
Okay, here we go.